From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Tiger Cats Game Day with Courtney Stephen and Simoni Lawrence.
Welcome to Tiger Cats Game Day on the Ticats Audio Network for a Friday face-off, 7 p.m. at Alumni Stadium on the campus of the University of Guelph. It is preseason game 2, and the Ticats are playing away, but not in Toronto, just against Toronto at a neutral field that the Ticats used to call home. And this one's bringing back nostalgia. I'm here with my partner in crime, number 21, Simoni Lawrence. And Sim, back in the days when we first met, one of our first places ever playing this game in black and gold together was at the University of Guelph in that 2013 season. So what's it like for the Ticats to be going back there, even though it's just a preseason game? How you feel about University of Guelph? Any good memories?
Hey, Courtney, I'd be really remiss to say University of Guelph is not a neutral site. That's Ticat land, baby. That's Ticat land. Everybody know that Guelph is Ticat land. That's not no neutral site. That's our crib from our other crib. Everybody know that. We broke 2013 Guelph in. I believe we played at Guelph and went straight to the Grey Cup.
I mean, the season did start out a little rough that year, but it's not about how you start, it's how you finish, right?
Per usual. And remember how Guelph saved us when the ball went up in the air and then the wind just stopped it, dropped back to the ground.
You know what? That was one of the most historic and memorable plays in Ticat special teams history. You know what? We're going to come back. We're going to talk about special teams on this one because I think that's going to be something to underscore, highlight, and underline. But before we jump into all of that, let's get down to brass tacks. This is preseason game number 2.
Yeah.
All right. So at this point in the year, you're at the end of training camp. The 2-a-days are done. This is the last chance to step into your job interview. If you're somebody who's trying to make the roster and put your name in lights, show off what you do best, as a coach once told me. So in this game, what are you trying to look for, or what should the fans expect to see?
The fans should expect to see Panda Baker raise up his head and say, "Hey, coach, if anything happened to Goose, don't worry about it, because I got you." Panda Baker is getting the opportunity of a lifetime. Panda Baker came in there and beat out Berkey for the backup's free safety job. So right now, Panda Baker got to be like, look, I could be a general on this field, no problem. I can hit a backup, or I could defend this defense. So for somebody like him, he gets the opportunity to be the general on the football field. And then another guy I wanted to see take the jump is Wilburn, our Will linebacker. He looked good last game, especially on the pass rush. Absolutely love him on the pass rush. Where I want to see him this game, and it being his second game, I want to see him shooting. Go make the play. He's always around the ball, but he's not shooting yet. And that could just be like he don't know how big the field is. He don't know the angles yet. But this game, I really need him to see him shoot and make some plays, because that could be potentially be the starting Will linebacker.
Yeah, that linebacker spot's an important one, especially in the CFL. Linebackers are built a little different than they are when they play in the NFL or in the NCAA. You got guys up here, you have to be able to run, you have to be able to get out to the numbers, and you have to be able to cover those scat backs who are going to test your open field tackling ability. So with that in mind, you're looking at the depth chart. They've got 11 linebackers, including the Sams, listed in this one. How do you make the team as a linebacker in the CFL, knowing that if you're an American, chances are you're going to have to play in at least 2 phases of the game?
Yes, and that's when you look at players like number 99 Jones. If he wants to be on this roster, he has to be able to play special teams and rotate on special teams and rotate at defensive end. That would be his job. A guy like Thomas, he got to be so cold that, look, you got to dress 3 American linebackers, you know what I mean? But you got to be cold for them to be able to do that. That's what Cartel was able to do last year. So you really got to ball on special teams, because I really like the guy that showed up on special teams. I know we're not on specials, but to make this team, you got to play special teams. And the guy Hoyt, number 42, he was playing left tackle. They took the ball back on us one time. Somebody else was playing left tackle. I ain't like it. And then they put Hoyt over there. He went down there and made the play. So I got to give a shout out to the Canadian kid, number 42, Hoyt, playing that left tackle like a pro.
Was playing left tackle on special teams. Now, he'd be a little undersized if he was playing on that offensive line left tackle. So sometimes you definitely got to clarify, because
special teams.
You know what? Matter of fact, we could do a little special edition on this episode and talk about what it really means to be on special teams, which is the only unit that involves players from both the offense and the defense. This is anything in the kicking game, punt, kickoff, or field goals, extra points, all of the above. So you need players who can have a particular skill set. They got to be able to block, they got to be able to tackle in space, and they have to be disciplined. Last game, the Ticats took some penalties on special teams. Specifically, they took some penalties that extended drives and led to points for the opposition. Now, you've got a coach came in from Winnipeg, and he had a great special teams unit for many years. But now on the Ticats, his first showing, it wasn't his proudest. Obviously, it's preseason game 1, lots of guys who don't have a lot of experience. But what do you think is the message coming down from the special teams coach to these guys who are trying to make the team and also trying to make a name for themselves as people who returning from last year's team, specifically in how they can contribute in the third phase of the game?
Okay, listen, if I'm Paul, and I'm going into the team room. Oh, for real? This is how we play football? This is how we play football. Penalties. You obviously don't want to play Ticat football if we committing penalties and putting our offense on long field positions or giving up field position. You're not making a team doing that. Get off blocks. We practice getting off blocks all day. Why are we letting them hold us? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we not tough no more? Oh, these guys just hold us and we just go, oh, we kicking the ball in the middle of the field. That's what we're doing. The play, okay, that's what we doing. Oh, we need a new kicker. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the game, bro. That's what's going on because, you know, this is a high performance job, you know, like a lot of people depend on us, you know what I mean, to make plays and do the right thing. So this is the message that they need to get in their head. Like, you can't make penalties on special teams. We got to field the better ball on special teams. Like, I feel like we didn't do a good job fielding the ball. We was letting the ball bounce too much and hit the ground. You know, like
so let's talk about that for a second. The hidden yardage. Hidden yardage.
Exactly.
So can you explain what is a hidden yardage and how can a team quickly win that battle?
I'm gonna tell you the hidden yardage. When Ottawa got the ball kicked off to them, they caught the ball at the 10 and they was returning it to the 50-yard line. That's 4 extra first downs. You hear what I'm saying? 4 extra first downs before Ottawa offense even gets on the field. We can't give up 440 yards, man. That's a deep pass. That's a bomb. Can't do that. For us, we can get little sneaky yards just running up and catching the ball. You get 15 yards if somebody's interfering. We got to go get the ball. Go get the ball. 15 yards. That's a first down. When you play punt, return, your job is to get the ball back to the offense, but to get a winning job, you want to get at least 1 first down for the offense.
Right, and definitely when you catch the ball in the air, you don't allow it to bounce. So when the ball does hit the ground and it travels backwards, that's like the equivalent of losing yards or a negative play before you give the ball back to your offense. So instead of gaining 15 or gaining 40, you might lose 10. It doesn't go in the stat sheet as losing 10, but from where the ball bounces and hits the ground and travels back before the returner picks it up, those are almost like negative yards, and that's the battle. That's the hidden yardage that we're talking about. So those are little things that you'd hope to see in this game that are brushed up on, you know, having the returners have the confidence, run up through a crowd, understand the Canadian rules, try to catch the ball, because even if you fumble in a crowd, you need the defense, the coverage team to give you a 5-yard halo. So you're pretty much free to attempt to catch it. Even if you drop it, if people within 5 yards, you're getting the ball back because of the rules. So teaching guys the Canadian game, that's a big part of it. When you first came up to the CFL, Simoni, Was this game something that just made sense to you right away, or what was the most confusing? What was the most confusing part?
The most confusing part was me having to give the guy 5 yards. You know what I mean? My first time running down on punt return, I seen him catch the ball. I timed it up perfect. He caught it. I smacked him. Bow! I got up, started celebrating. Ah! I see a flag. I'm like, flag for what? I must have hit him too hard or something. Nope. I ain't give him 5 yards, bro. I forgot. I had to give the guy 5 yards before I touch him. You feel me? This guy got a whole halo around him, and he's like, come on, bro. Why he get... Never mind. That's beside the point. Let's get back to the game.
Yeah, so really the rules of the game is a little different. You know, in the NFL, you could get the fair catch. In the CFL, we got the 5-yard halo. Things like 3 downs, high motion, all those kinds of things. In training camp, you're hoping to Teach the players that. Get it out of their system. 1 point for a touchback in Canadian football. Little things like that.
Yep.
They add up, and in clutch situations, you need your players to understand those nuances of the game so they can use them to their advantage. So in this preseason game, that would be something I would be looking for as well, is to see what strides have they made in understanding the Canadian game and which guys have been able to not only get the playbook but get the rules down and be able to apply them. So speaking of making the team and whatnot, what other players have caught your eye so far in training camp, whether that's on the offensive side or the defensive side of the ball?
I say we got George playing. George is one of those guys. He's playing because he's a repetition guy. The more games he plays, the better he gets. So he needs reps for his eyes. So that's why you see him out there. But he'll be our starting halfback.
That's Kenneth George Jr. playing the boundary halfback in the short side of the field.
Exactly. Thank you. And then we got halfback. I really like Vereen game. Vereen, he's really nice. He's playing halfback for Richard Leonard, who's going to get the start. But he's one of those guys where he can come in and you don't really see any drop off from him. You know, another guy is Lawson, number 14. He's getting the back-to-back start at cornerback, at the field cornerback, and he's just been balling all camp. That's his job to win right now. So that's who I like. And then, you know, I watched the Sam, number 46. He had a good game. That's the spot we was watching last week. Him and Cartel battling that out. That's his job to win now. It won't be surprised if I see him on opening day. Cartel got to buckle up his chin strap and ball out on special teams and lead them boys, and, you know, cut down the mistakes and penalties on specials, and, you know, his face will be good for sure.
Yeah, and that's an important position, that Sam linebacker. We talked about it last time, but very versatile player, and somebody who definitely has to be able to fill in for other defensive backs if need be. And if you're the sixth defensive back or you're the defensive back coming off of the bench, you got to be able to play all of these positions. So a guy like Vereen, Lawson, guys who are playing but not necessarily have their spot locked down 100%, we might see them show up at different spots than where they're listed on the depth chart. You know, you might be listed at corner, they might play half, they might move into the Sam because that extra defensive back needs to demonstrate versatility. So hop over to the D line for a second. We had some real good performances in the first preseason game, and you're not seeing Casey Sales, you're not going to see Mason Bennett, Nick Usher. These guys, you know, Barlow, these guys are not really going to get reps. But tell me what you saw from them in their first game and what you saw through camp, because to me, I thought it was promising, but you've been watching the film. Tell me what you've been seeing.
So Casey Sales, oh my gosh, Casey Sales has such a good game. He hit somebody with the wiggle, wiggle, swim TFL. Let me explain to y'all what the wiggle, wiggle, swim TFL is. That I used to do that, John. I think Casey was watching my tape. So the wiggle, wiggle, swim TFL is when you got the guard in front of you, you hit him with a little wiggle, wiggle with the shoulders, he lunges, swim, TFL. I was like, all right, that's enough. That's all I need to see from Casey. Casey, get out the game. You're doing good. Barlow favorite move is the bull rush, y'all. Do your homework on Barlow was bull rushing these tackles into the quarterback lap every other play. And then I was like, dang, all he got is the bull rush. He was like, no, stupid. I get off the ball too. When I tell you this man got off the ball so fast, I was like, okay, bet. He don't need to play in this game. We'll see him week 1. You feel what I'm saying? And then Nick Usher was like, baby, I'm really bad. I'm Usher Raymond bad. You feel me? He came backside, went for the sack. He was trying to get the ball out, so I gave him extra points on that. Because anytime you come backside, you want to get the ball out. So, and then Hendricks, he's, you know what I'm saying, worth the price of admission, you know what I mean? Like, week 1, we hope he ready to lock and load it and go, because he's a tough dude, you feel me? Hold on, Hendricks calling me right now, actually. Hold on. Who calling me? Oh, that's Goose. Goose, stop calling me, bro. I'm in the office. Hold on, y'all. All right, cool. Yeah, my bad. Goose be acting crazy. He know I'm shooting the show. He not playing. He like, I'm talking too much about Panda Baker. I got to show everybody love, Goose.
Man, it's exciting to think about when everything starts up front. This Ticats D-line, they got a new coach this year. It'll be interesting to see him put his stamp on things. And you got the same defensive coordinator, so not too much is going to change, but the position coaches at the DB spot, the linebacker spot, and the D-line spot have all changed. So as a player, how much of an influence does your position coach have on the schemes that you're running versus the coordinator, which we know is ultimately the architect? But then also at the same time, the different makeup of the room.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they're going to have the same style of defense that they've had for the last couple of years? Or based on this personnel, do we expect to see something different?
Well, I'm saying, look, it's like this. It better be tough. It better be hitting. The violence of the game don't change in Hamilton, you know what I mean? So that's always going to be consistent, I pray and hope, you know what I'm saying? But the makeup of the game, like you got a new linebacker coach, you got a new defensive back coach, you got a new D-line coach. I'll tell you the truth. Defensive linemen, they like calling their own stunts and stuff, you know what I mean? So we going to get to see what coach is going to cook up for the D-line. Everything else, you got to play the call, you see what I'm saying? So D-line going to get the call in from the D-line coach. Tango, blah, 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 do all this, I mean, on the pass rush.
So really, the back end or the coverage part, that's really more so what the defensive coordinator is getting his hands right on. He might have drawn up the fronts. He might have designed the stunts, but then during the game, delegate that out to the D-line coach to control. Look, we want to run a pass rush stunt right here. You dial up what you got best for what you're prepared and who's on the field for you. That's what I'm hearing from you.
For sure, for sure. So that's why if I play D-line, I'm talking to coach. Coach, I need my favorite stunt. Please don't do me like that on 2nd and 15, coach. I need my favorite stunt to get caught. You know what I'm saying? And then the linebackers, like that's just encouragement. You got to play the call, get the plays out. Defensive backs, they got Brandon Isaacs back there, and he's one of those guys where he's gonna tell you how it is. You know what I mean? Like no sugarcoating, no politics, none of that. He's gonna be as real as possible with you. So you got to get used to people's personalities because that's the biggest thing in football. Everybody different. My favorite quote was, "Everybody gonna get treated fairly, but everybody don't get treated equal." You know what I mean? That's just the game within the game, though.
Yeah, and so let's talk about the other side of the ball real quick because we might have buried the lead a little bit, but I don't know if this is burying the lead. A lot of people on either side of the ball who we could presume to be the starters or the people who have locked up their spots are not playing. All sides of the ball, right? But one of the most important is Bo Levi Mitchell. He is not even he's the 4th on the depth chart. All right. So if he broke a sweat tonight, I would be very, very surprised. Obviously, he's wanting to go into week 1. It's a very short turnaround to the next game, which is 7 days from today. He wants to go into week 1 feeling fresh, ready to fly, going back to Calgary. Okay.
Hey.
So
come on now.
So in place of him, we have Powell.
And look, I'm gonna do you even a better favor. Bo had a great game. I said I was looking at his footwork. His footwork looked good. I had him at what he had. He went about 10 for 16, a touchdown, a lot of yards. I counted 2 drop passes, so that'd probably push him up to like 90% completion rate. And he did really good. I told him the other day the only one he missed was that immediate flat to the backer. He would have been 14 or 16, and he was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. I got you next time, Sim." Bo played so good. I called Calgary. I was like, we need that white horse because Bo Levi coming back to Calgary. It's different when Bo Levi already studying Calgary tape right now. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a game tomorrow, but Bo is studying Calgary tape. It hit different. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on.
Like, talk to me about really where the mindset of the offense and the team could be right now, given the fact that, like, you're right, this is a nothing game. If they win or not is inconsequential. This is for people to audition and make the team, and that's more of a film review. Watch the game, try to play certain schemes so that you can see certain skill sets. We're going to line up in zone when we're in the middle of the field, when it's toughest, when the zones are split the furthest, and I want to see how you read and react. And then we're going to put you in man on short yardage, and I want to see you impress. Yeah. But quite frankly, it doesn't matter if we win the game. We're trying to see what's going to happen with the players. Now, what that allows the coaches to do,
evaluate.
They evaluate and they get ahead on the next game. Like you said, how many times have the Ticats come out the game and won the first game of the season?
You see what I'm saying, Courtney? I don't even want to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to talk about that, Court. Why are you trying to hurt my heart, Court?
Hey, look, I was right. I was right there with you. With you. But we all know, like we said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But they trying to get out the gate on something different this year and let the whole city know what time it is. So if you are Taylor Powell now, and you're at the helm this game, you've already got some action for the year, but you're stepping up into there and you're running with the twos, all the twos starting. Right, I don't know if it's fair to call them all the twos, but between Rogers, Geiger, Holmes, Vasher, are they starters?
They starters. Because tonight they starters. They better be starters. If you know what's good for you, better be a starter. Because you get the opportunity to audition. You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, your film is your currency in this game. You feel what I'm saying? These boys is getting currency right now by playing on the film and doing on tape. You know what I mean? Like, you get to play professional football and get tape. How can anybody else evaluate? If we might not like you, you might go somewhere else and be a superstar. So you better buckle your chin straps and play. You get to touch the ball, because this not just for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This is for the Montreal Alouettes, that corny blue team down the road. You know what I mean? Saskatchewan, whatever their last names is. You know what I'm saying? That's what else it's for too. You competing for your family still. You know what I mean? So if people can say it's a nothing game, but it's some people in that locker room like, nah, I gotta go get this check for my family. I'm not going out like that. I don't care who they bring. They could bring Simoni Lawrence to play quarterback. We still winning this, you know what I mean? I'm putting the team on my back. And a lot of guys thinking like that right now, Courtney.
Okay, so of all of the players right now who are trying to make that name on the offensive side of the ball, look, we've got offensive linemen who have played and got some action on both tackles. But other than that, you're looking at a lot of guys outside of the quarterback and the two tackles. Omar Bayless has got some action. Outside of that, you're looking at a lot of guys who don't have as much experience. So talk to me about who you're looking for on the offense and where are there really opportunities, because this Ticats offense is fully loaded, especially since they just brought back Steven Dunbar Jr., who is another threat at the wide receiver position.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, receiver looking, you know what I mean? You gotta dang near be Michael Jordan at this game, you know what I'm saying? You gotta come in like a guy like Geiger, you know what I'm saying? He returned punts, number 89. He had a nice little punt return. So he just added value. It's like, you know what? We might be able to keep him, put him on the practice or do something, keep him around, because that's a guy that can do two things for us. They got him at Tim White's spot at that boundary slot, so I'm thinking he might be featured to see what he can do. And like, it's not like he going against some Joe Smo Argonaut team. They bringing out all they starters, so all these guys don't even understand the opportunity they're getting right now. You going against a starting CFL team right now. You snap here, you letting everybody know you can play. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? This is free money out here. This is not a regular game, y'all. I'm telling y'all. This is one of those games where it's like, man, I can go get some food. The Sam linebacker, number 46, you fighting. You about to be a starter, bro. Let's see if you really a starter. You know what I mean? Wilburn, you supposed to be the starting will linebacker. Let's see if you a starting will linebacker. Lawson, you going to be the starting field. Let's see if you starting field. Because I know guys like Rich, Goose, I seen them do it. You feel me, Courtney? I seen them do it. So I want to see guys like number 89 come out here and show like his worth. I really want to see Omar Bayless be great, man. I really want to see that. These tackles, I'm going to be real with the tackles, Kemp. Salter, y'all got a ball. Because it's still a way that y'all can make this and do what y'all want to do because of the way the young boy was playing. I'm talking about number 67. So now he done opened the gate for a couple of the young guys because he looked like a big dog. And like he looks so much like a big dog. This is his first year, and he might sit out the second game. Him and Bridges, they think highly of him. You come in first year, sit out the second game like you that nice boy. I like it.
So hey, here's another question. Last year, Taylor Powell, I wouldn't say he necessarily came out of nowhere, but he came out of nowhere. All right, so. He was a guy that, I wasn't necessarily checking for at the beginning of the season because I didn't know any better. I'm not the GM. I'm not the director of player personnel or none of that stuff. But I show up to watch the games. I watch the practices, and you see this guy slinging the rock. He looks comfortable. Started as the third. Worked his way up to the first. Won games in his rookie season as a pro. Could Harrison Frost also have that same potential?
That's the game, bro. We don't know until we know. And this is the game we going to understand. You see what I'm saying? We don't know until we know, because when Frost went in there, I don't know who Frost was playing. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What does he have to do in this game to gain confidence with Coach Milanovic that he can go in there and do something other than the quarterback sneak?
Listen, he got to run the offense. He got to run the offense. He got to make all the right reads. Because with a coach like Coach Milanovic, you got great coaching at the quarterback position, and you know exactly what your read should be. Coach Milanovic wants to see the offenses executed to the T. If Frost can come in there and be like, listen, I can run your offense for you, coach. Don't trip. I'm not going to ad-lib, coach. I'm not going to check and tell him to do this. I'm going to stay in the game and run with the game plan. If he can do that, we'll see what happens.
It's 1, 2, 3 throw, not 1, 2, 3 hitch, then throw.
You see what I'm saying?
Little things like that make a big difference.
And then sometimes it's 1, 2, 3. Nobody, just check it down, bro. Let's get to the next play. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a couple guys that we played against for Coach Milanovic when he was on the other side of the ball, and they love checking it down. And sometimes that check down is the best play that you could make. But I digress. Let's, rounding this thing out, we talked about special teams off top. We talked about defense. We talked about offense. We talked about the importance of this game for a lot of people individually.
Yeah.
Now, one last thing I want to run by you, and I want you to explain here to the listeners, is if you're a player and you're preparing for a game, you ain't playing no more, but you still in the film room, you still watching, preparing, you're at practice. You don't just put on a play and watch the ball move around. How do you actually watch film? Like, give us some insight into what that process is like.
All right, so I'm gonna help Wilburn out. So, Wilburn, I hope you watch the show before the game. You feel what I'm saying? If I'm you, I'm going and watching every single route number 2 receiver did. You see what I'm saying?
The number 2 receiver in the boundary.
Yes,
yep.
Because I need to know what his hooks feel like, look like. I need to see what his digs look like. I need to see what his outs look like. I need to see where he's breaking. I need to see if he gives off any run reads. I need to see if he gives any pass reads. So first of all, I might spend a whole day just on the number 2 receiver. You know what I mean? And then I'm looking at the running back. You going against Carey, bro. Go look at the running back and go look at every single pass he caught. You know what I mean? Every single pass he catch, he's a little shaky. See how he likes to do. Does he like to spin on contact? Is it somebody you should break your feet down for? Or is it somebody that you should shoot? What's your leverage on him? What can I beat him with a pass rush? Does Carey duck his head? Yes, he does duck his head. Swim move? Yeah, that's an easy move on him. You know what I mean? Like, it's just simple stuff, Also, my dog Wilburn, he comes on the line, runs a lot of stunts. You know what I'm saying? So he got to understand the different reads for that in there too. And then like the DBs, I'm studying all the route concepts, all 23s, all 32s. So basically you're starting out your week looking at who is going to be the main person you end up lined up against most often. You're looking at KYP, bro.
Know your personnel.
Come on, Brody. Football's so simple sometimes.
So you got to know the person first because they got to operate within a certain system.
Yes.
Then you're thinking about, okay, this is what they do. These are the things I could use to counter them based on their strengths and weaknesses. And then also when you're going into the film room with the team, they're giving you the concepts they run. So, okay, some teams like to run an out and a go. Some teams like to run a out with a stop route. Some teams like to run the out with that curl. It's different than the stop route, because a stop route, you run down the field, you just turn around and hitch right up. And a curl, you gonna bend it back inside and shave it back to the ball.
Talk to him, Courtney.
So you looking for the nuances, like how can I see where the ball is going to end up at the end of this play?
How can I get a jump on the offense? Because I do not want to be reacting. I want to already know what's going on before the play happens. Most of the time, I'm shooting the box because I know it's run. I know it's pull. I'm yelling, pull, pull, pull. It's a lot of things that the offense always tips off before plays. And if you could use that to the advantage, that'd be great too. But that comes in the film room, and you really got to study it. Really.
Yeah, certain little things like offensive lineman body language. They not athletic enough to get out of their stance, so they got to cheat.
Bro, I went to a military school. 68% of communication is nonverbal. You know what I mean? Let's read the body language. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's read it. You know, it's going to be right there. They telling you what's going on.
Hey, Sim, should we put in a word with the producers so we can get back in the film room and we could put something together?
It's clear that we need to show the fans what's going on. This is the best show in the world. How we not going to show the fans what's going on, Courtney? How we not going to sit in the film room and break it down for the fans so they can go coach the next Simoni Lawrence, Courtney Stevens?
Let's go. Hey, you know what? If y'all want to see that too, you got to let us know. Send an email to somebody, like, share, comment on something, subscribe to something, and let the people know that you want more of that film room, that football talk, that shot talk, because that's what we're here to do, man. Simoni, this is preseason game 2. Is there any final words you got for the team or for Hamilton as we go and exit the preseason?
We about to exit the preseason, but to all my starving dogs that's going to our second home in Guelph. It hit different when we got a home game back-to-back in the preseason, you know what I mean? And we playing the boys down the road. We don't even call them by their names around here, you know what I'm saying? So let's be extremely disrespectful to that blue team down the road, yo, because you're going to make a lot of Hamilton proud and happy, you know what I mean? We don't care who we beat sometimes. We just want to stomp on their necks. That's just the way the game go, y'all. So if you go out there and smoke somebody, you might make the team just off that. I'll be real with you. They might make T-shirts.
They might make T-shirts.
Free smoke T-shirts, yo. Imagine. That could be you. That could be you. Handle your business, youngins.
Yo, I wasn't sure if that was for the fans or for the team. So we gonna take that and we gonna wrap it up right there. Hey, it's preseason game 2, University of Guelph, 7 p.m. tonight. It's the Ticats versus the Double Blue. And if you ain't gonna be there, you can listen to it on the Ticats audio network at ticats.ca/listen. My name is Courtney Steven. His name is Simoni Lawrence. Check us out on CFL Plus and make sure you subscribe, Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. Until next time, have a great game day.
Hey, yo, let's get to it.
Tiger Cats Game Day with Courtney Steven and Simoni Lawrence. Like, follow, and be game day ready.